Just like every year, at the start, you feel motivated. You set goals to eat better, work out more, stay consistent, and for a while it actually works. But then life gets busy. You miss a few days, you get distracted, and before you know it, things start slipping. Suddenly your goals fade into the background and you're right where you started. If this sounds like you, don't worry. There's a reason this keeps happening. And so in this video, I'm going to share with you what that reason is and go through 3 simple steps to reset your goals so that you can actually get back on track and win the rest of 2026. And so the first step is to remove the biggest drain, because here's the thing. When people try and make changes, they try to change like 3 or 4 things at once. They try and tell themselves, oh, I want to start meal prepping 3 times a week. I want to start an exercise routine. I want to reduce my screen time by 5 hours. I want to study every day for 2 hours. I want to fix my sleep schedule. And when you do that, your energy is being split in too many directions. And so what you need to understand is that half effort everywhere leads to no results anywhere. Imagine it like this, right? Imagine that someone is in a field full of fire. Would it be effective to get the water out and try and just squirt the hose everywhere around you? Probably not. You probably wouldn't end up putting any of the fires out. And so what we want to do instead is you want to remove the thing that drains you the most so that you can then get your energy back and start building momentum. So here's what you're going to do. Write down a list of all of the goals you want to work on and then ask yourself, what's the one thing that would make me instantly feel better if I started improving it? So let's take an example. Let's say this is someone's list and they want to study their course for 2 hours every day and they want to start waking up at 5:30 a.m., walk 10k steps a day, cook a meal every evening, and fix their sleep schedule. Well, at first glance, you might think it's a good idea to focus on studying more or focus on cooking every evening, but let's just really think about it. What is the one thing on this list which is draining this person the most? Well, it's most likely the sleep. Because if your sleep is messed up, well, then you're tired all day. And then you don't even have the energy to do things like focusing or studying, and you won't feel like walking 10k steps, and you definitely won't feel like cooking but maybe ordering a takeaway. And so what you want to stop doing is picking the thing that you think is the most productive and instead pick the thing that is draining you the most. And so if we were to just fix this one problem, then suddenly everything else would probably get easier. And so when you have identified the biggest drain on your list, you now want to cross out everything else. And the reason why this is so important is because when you intentionally cross things off the list, you're now making a decision. You're now choosing to focus on one thing and giving yourself the permission to let go of all this pressure you put on yourself. Because the problem is people try and fix 4 or 5 things at the same time and then they get caught up in this cycle of feeling guilty for not being able to accomplish everything. And so by doing this exercise, you are now making a conscious decision that yes, you will get to the other things in time, but right now you have one focus. What a lot of people don't realize is that sometimes the smartest thing you can do is let some fires burn while you focus on putting out the one that matters the most. Right, let's go back to our friend who's surrounded by fire. If you're just trying to hose everything at the same time, you're not going to put anything out. And so instead, you want to identify what is the biggest fire right now and focus your energy on that. And then once that's done, now you have space. Now you can move, and then we can tackle the next one, and then the next one, and then the next one. But you have to have one focus first. And I would recommend focus on improving the biggest drainer first for at least 1 to 2 weeks and just forget about everything else. Give yourself the permission that you don't need to work on all of this at once. And so I want you to pause the video right now. And I really mean this. Like, I do not make this content because I want you to binge watch it. I make this content because I want you to take action and actually do these things. So please pause the video right now and do this exercise. Write down all your goals in a list, and no, do not do this on your phone. Go and get a piece of paper and a pen. You need to visually see these thoughts come out of your head, because when you write things down, you'll probably realize, oh, that's actually quite a lot that I'm trying to change. And then identify what is the biggest drainer and what would make you feel better immediately. Not what is most productive, not what sounds good, but what is going to make you feel better. And then you want to cross out the others, and now you're going to focus on improving this one thing for at least 1 to 2 weeks. I promise you, if you were to just do this, you would start to see shifts very soon. Remember, half effort everywhere leads to no results anywhere. Now the second step is to invert the goal, and this is something coined by Charlie Munger, who is a very successful businessman, and this method of thinking has been used by some of the greatest thinkers in history, such as Albert Einstein and Marcus Aurelius, so this is really powerful. And so what you want to do, instead of asking yourself, how do I achieve this goal? You want to flip it, which is the same as invert it, and ask yourself, what would guarantee you fail? So let's take an example. Instead of asking yourself, how do I succeed with weight loss? You want to ask yourself, what would guarantee I fail at weight loss? Because the answers are very different. So let's test this out. How do I succeed with weight loss? Well, many people will make a plan similar to this. Okay, I need to stick to a diet plan. I need to start walking 10k steps a day. I need to drink lots of water. I need to go to the gym 3 times a week. I need to meal prep every Sunday. When you ask yourself how to succeed, suddenly now there's a long list of things to do. And this requires a lot of effort, discipline, and consistency. And so it can become very overwhelming. However, when you ask what would guarantee you fail, suddenly everything is simplified and you get clarity on the behaviors that are holding you back. So let's test this out. What would guarantee I fail at weight loss? Probably ordering takeaways every weekend. Probably going to the bakery every day for breakfast. Probably not a good idea, right? Snacking every evening. Staying in bed or lying on the couch all day. Drinking alcohol often. Having inconsistent meal times. And so now, instead of trying to add 5 new habits to your life, you just focus on removing the ones that are already ruining your progress. And by just tackling these things first, this alone can make a big difference rather than everything on the first list. And so I hope you're starting to see why inversion thinking can be very helpful, because it's easier to spot what's going wrong rather than trying to figure out everything that you need to do right. Right, your job isn't to add more to your routine, but instead is to eliminate the major blocks in your way. This is something that we humans have as a very bad default. We tend to try and add things all the time. Well, like when we try and improve things, we try and add so many things. Let's take productivity as a quick example. People try and add these crazy schedules. They try and time everything. They try and write down what they're doing for every hour and open up these spreadsheets, and everything becomes about adding. But if they were just to focus on removing the things that are blocking them, success would probably be a natural byproduct. Right, here's the thing, most people don't lose from not doing enough. They lose from doing the wrong things. And so avoiding failure is often enough to win. Right, let's take the example of weight loss again. Most people don't lose because they need to go to the gym 6 times a week and they need to eat perfect salads all day and they need to walk 10,000 steps. No, they end up losing because they go to McDonald's for breakfast and then they go and order a massive meal for the weekend and then they go and drink with their friends. Like that, it's the stuff that is blocking them. Is that why they lose? Not all the stuff they need to add. And so I want you to pause the video right now. Again, like I said before, I'm not making this video for you to binge watch through. I really want you to take these action steps because this will help you to get back on track. So please do this for yourself. And ask yourself, what would guarantee I fail at X? X being your goal. And then write down a list, and instead of trying to add more things that you need to do, just focus on eliminating these things first. Right, step number 3, make success easy. So I was on a call with someone the other day, a coaching client, and this person was so annoyed at themselves because every single night for years, all they do when they get home in the evening is they pull out their phone and they go on it. And they have these goals that they want to work on, and they really want to achieve these things, and they really want to exercise more, but they just feel frustrated that every single night they go on their phone. And how they were explaining the problem to me is that they were saying, I just don't understand why I can't just do it. I don't understand why I can't work on my goals. I hope one day I find the motivation. I wish I could just be one of those disciplined people. And I just thought in my head, this is honestly one of the biggest illusions that people fall for, which is that people think Disciplined or successful people are just constantly resisting their urges, and this is completely false. People look at others and they're like, oh, why is that person able to not go on their phone? Or why is that person not eating burgers every night? Or why is that person able to read and study and focus well? And it all comes down to this. It's about making good choices easier and bad ones harder. The truth is, this woman was trying to win by resisting her phone every night. She kept telling herself, tonight's going to be different. I'm going to come home from my job and instead of go on my phone, I'm going to do something else. I'm going to pull out my book and read. I'm going to go for a walk. But why would you do that when the easiest option is to just pull out your phone because it's right there in your pocket? Whereas the people who succeed with not going on their phone and completing their goals, it's because they remove the temptation in the first place. It's actually harder for them to access social media than to do the other thing. For example, maybe they don't even have social media because they deleted it, or they've deleted apps from their phone, or they've got strong app blockers that make it super hard to open up the phone. And so when the urge hits them to pull out their phone, which it does, it's actually harder for them to access the bad option, and it's just easier for them to go and do something else. Or let's take the example of someone who wants to lose weight. Well, remember, we're trying to make the good choices easier and the bad ones harder. Well, for the people who usually fail, it's because they make it so easy to access the bad option. For example, maybe they have a cupboard full of snacks and chocolates, or they have their delivery apps on their phone, or they just have cakes in the fridge, and so they have to constantly resist their temptations. Whereas the people who are usually successful just make the bad option harder. For example, they will probably have no junk food in the house, so in that moment when they have an urge, it means that they have to go out and get it, and that is so much more effort, right? And so the most disciplined people aren't the strongest, but they just make the right thing the easiest thing to do. Because I'm telling you right now, if I had a cupboard full of chocolates and snacks and I had social media apps on my phone, trust me, I would be spending every evening on those apps. I would just be scrolling away 8 hours a day. But because I don't have any of those things around me, it's actually effort to go and do them. Right, here's just an example of like my personal setup for my habits. So I have no social media accounts apart from YouTube. So I literally don't even go on Instagram or TikTok or anything like that. So I've got no apps on my phone. I have strict website blockers that have hard passwords to unlock. So there's this really good website blocker called Cold Turkey, and I have it on my laptop. And honestly, it is so good. Like, I have a password on there that is not, I didn't make it up. The app makes it up every time. And if I want to access YouTube, it takes me 10 minutes to type in the password that they give me because it's so long. And so if I was just to have the urge to open up YouTube, I literally can't be bothered to sit there for 10 minutes and type in a password. So guess what I go and do? I go and read my book, or I go and walk the dogs, or I go and do something productive because it's actually harder for me to access websites. I also have no junk food or snacks in the house, and I have no subscriptions to streaming platforms. And so for me, if I wanted to just watch something or I wanted to just eat something, it's so annoying. It's like I have to go out and get it, or I have to sign up and pay for this streaming platform, and I just don't want it that badly. And so stop relying on willpower and instead make the good choice the default. Stop expecting yourself to just overcome the urge, but instead just make it so hard to access that it becomes more effort to do it. And so let's just do a quick recap. Step 1, remove the biggest drain. You need to identify what is the biggest fire in your life right now and put out that one first. Stop trying to put out all the fires at once. Let the other fires burn and give yourself the permission to let them burn, and instead just put out the biggest one. Number 2, inverted thinking. Instead of thinking about what do I need to succeed and adding all these long lists of things, ask yourself what will guarantee I fail, and instead focus on removing those things first. And step 3, make success easy. Make the bad habits harder to access and make the good habits easier to access so that when you get that urge, it just automatically pushes you towards the best option. If you found this video helpful, please consider sharing this with someone that you think might need it, and I wish you all the best. Thank you for watching.